guys? It's Monday. The dynamic duo, me and Monday Juma, back in the house. Quite a busy weekend, the Monday. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Just back from work. It's a roasting hot day today. I mean, all around the country. I think I clocked it on my way home at 8 o'clock. It was still 27 degrees in my car. So I imagine this evening is a sticky one for everybody. I've got my fan on. I think you've got your fan on as well, Mr. B.
Yeah.
We're trying to stay cool in this heat, but we're going to endure it and come through in flying colours. Welcome everyone in the chat as well.
All right, let me say a couple of howdies anyway. Solo, we see you. Howdy, man. Matty, we see you. Tyrone. Yes, we are doing a Mazza at the moment. And there's more to come, boy. There's more to come. Hydro, we see you. Stephanie, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Bart, how you doing, sir? I hope you're in talking about a player that Liverpool have bought. If not, then maybe you'll just be quiet and stop winding us up. Nah, not really, man. I'm on the wind up, bro. Let's see. Let me see what question you've got in here already. What is likely to happen this season? United scoring 5 goals in the game of half time. Tedden on his video cam. Us scoring 5 goals. Half time, never switching on his video cam. Andrew, I hope you're doing well, man. Time to win another stream. Right, so look, little discussion. Obviously on Monday, I know you watched the game. We had a brief little chat. What did you think? And obviously we've got 2 injuries. Apparently the scans they've been sent off. The scans have been sent off to the medical department. So we'll probably find out what's wrong, what the extent of the injuries are to Euro and Højlund. Hopefully, I just want them to start the season, man. But look, what do you think of the game, man?
Yeah, to anyone who saw the game, like I went out on Saturday night, so it was perfect for me. I came back and just in time to watch some of the game. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game of football, and obviously because you want to see progression, you want to see how players are getting on, and it's a good test against Arsenal, who obviously are right now one of the better sides in the Premier League. Finishing second twice, and they've got an abundance of good players. So good test. Obviously, I want to win the game, but even though we didn't win, there's a lot of positives I think to take from the game. Started the game pretty well. Højlund, he scored a nice goal where he showed pace, strength, and a decent finish as well. Rashford played the ball from deep over pushing the high Arsenal defence. Rasmus read it, ran in behind, and he ran with the 17-year-old centre-back of Arsenal and thought, okay, showtime. You're not Saliba, you're not Gabriel. I'm going to push and go. And he pushed and went, showed his pace, showed his strength to hold off the guy, went in on goal and nuts the keeper. Good goal, very good goal. And then at the other end, we saw a goal that should have been ruled out for offside.
It was. Come on, you have to. I just couldn't understand why it wasn't. It wasn't even close. It was. I understand that they maybe didn't have VAR, but as a linesman, your job is to, if it's offside, is to flag. And I just don't understand why there was no flag.
Doesn't matter. I mean, look. So thankfully we got VAR in our league, so things like that will hopefully will be okay. But you can't criticise anyone. The guys in defence read the line, done what they're supposed to do. It's just unfortunate, things like that happen. So yeah, if there was VAR, surely that would be ruled off. I know people are trying to bring images, but I've seen angles where it's just clear to me it's offside. But regardless of that, it's 1-1. And then our centre-back, they brought on Martinelli, Havertz, and another senior player, in the second half. Us in the second half, we played a completely different team, tried out some youngsters, and some of them played pretty well. And then, we absorbed them, and then they scored with Martinelli's goal. I think he like with Højlund, exploiting their young centre-back. I think our young centre-back, Fish, I think it got exploited a bit on his toes. Not used to sort of these big senior players coming at him. I know he went up loan in Scottish football last season, but unfortunately Martinelli scored a good goal, and you have to give them credit. But we obviously went on penalties. I wasn't interested in that. That means nothing. But I just think overall it was a good game to get under our belts before the season starts. And obviously we've got the Community Shield coming up. We've got to play Betis, I think, and Liverpool as well. So it'll be really interesting. But yeah, disappointed about the injuries. Hopefully it's not too serious, because I've been really impressed with Euro, and obviously our goal scorer had to come off the pitch. So yeah, we don't want to sort of have this curse of injuries, on the club. And we just don't want to hear this. It's too early in the season for this to be happening. So don't wish any bad further injuries to anyone else. Let's just continue the tour and let's just get more excited and see some more progression, hopefully, from following the Arsenal game. Did you watch it, Mr. B? What was
Yeah, I watched it. I liked the first half. The goal, obviously, it's just make the right decision. I was more than happy with how we played with the first half. I thought Mount was pretty good.
Yeah.
Amas looks so comfortable on the football.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about his size. Collier, I think they will hold him. I'm thinking that they might hold him as a player for the season and not loan him out. Hoyland's goal, obviously he did well for his goal. And that was it. To be fair, I was quite happy. I was quite happy with the first half. Obviously, the second half, the 245s. It's so hard to judge the new players coming in. Arsenal kept their system and their players for an hour, and I think you could see when they came out for the second half that they were in a bit of a rhythm. But overall, look, it's a friendly. I think it has improved definitely from the Rosenborg game. I would like to see a lot more improvement against Besiktas, and then obviously we've got Liverpool, as you said before we come back. But it's just a couple of things really. I'm just worried about Casemiro still playing. That's the big issue for me. But look, we'll see what happens when the season goes. The transfer window's not over. But the team definitely need improving. Andrew, one of your comments was you saw five problems. Guys in the chat, do you lot still see problems? We're only 2 games into pre-season. But like Andrew, if you've seen any problems, put them in the chat and we'll get them up. We'll see what we'll see if we might agree to disagree on a few things. But players coming in on Monday. Obviously, Mazraoui for the last couple of days has been the he is out, bloody hell, Euro out for 3 to 4 weeks. Oh God,
that's a stumped your flow there, man.
Yeah,
man. Get Mazza going on. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
okay, that's disappointing. But look, it's what it is.
It's something that we'll have to deal with. Hopefully, it is only 3 weeks and it's temporary. He was never going to be the only defender that we were going to sign. So look, we'll see. Hopefully, the fact that it's Fulham and Brighton, he'll definitely be back for the Liverpool game. So that shouldn't be a problem. But Mazraoui, I know he's not Bath Time's favourite player. I'll be honest, I like new shiny toys. And if it means getting rid of Wan-Bissaka, then I'm all for it. I have nothing against Wan-Bissaka. I think he's done a good job for us. He was never worth the price. A lot of the players that we buy are never worth the price.
Yeah,
he's done a good job in a formation that we were holding, a formation that suited his playing style. We're now playing a different playing style. Derek Harding Wellington.
Yes, my brethren.
I was gonna say I've never seen him. So welcome to the madness.
He has been on the show. He's a QPR fan, and I should say the bit. Yeah, big up to his son, who's doing really well in football. Good. He's coached his son to become a talented player, and hopefully you can come on the show soon, Beefy, and talk to us about football, because obviously he's in the game and he's coaching and he's doing loads of wonderful things. So big up to Derek Harding Wellington, QPR fan, good friend of mine. We go way back, and you've seen him on the show before. Hopefully he's coming on again soon. But yes, players are coming in. So just tell me this, Mr. B. So with this Mazza guy coming into Man United, we can't sign him, you're saying, until we get rid of Wan-Bissaka. Is that how it goes?
That seems to be the order of the day at the moment. 1 in, 1 out. But obviously, Wan-Bissaka turned down West Ham maybe a week or so ago because they had agreed to deal with obviously Mazraoui. Now we've hijacked that one. It seems like the deal with Wan-Bissaka and West Ham is progressing nicely. I'm not sure what the price is. They're going to be paying, but it's going to be 10 to 12 million, I suppose. But it then means that we can move on to Mazraoui, who we already know is going to be a 25 million euro deal. He's agreed personal terms. We know what they want to pay, so we're kind of, I suppose, we're waiting for Romano to just be saying, "Here we go." Yeah, I suppose.
Really, Mr. B, on the personal terms things, I heard that he was asking for more playing time. It was really important for him, especially at his age. There's a big contract he's coming to. He doesn't want to be sitting on the bench.
Who's this? Wan-Bissaka?
No, Mazza coming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think some of the personal terms were he was suggesting he wants to be playing games. And it's only natural. You're coming from Bayern Munich, you're an international, you're a well-known player, you're wanted. He's going to say, I want to be playing games. So there has to be some sort of reassurance for him. And I want to just think about it. Wan-Bissaka's on the way out. I know a lot of fans have been disappointed with him. And I know Wan-Bissaka's got some strengths and weaknesses. We know what they are. Obviously, he's a good defender, good man-to-man defender. But going forward, he's not helping us with our progression of play. And, you don't see many assists from him, which you do see from a lot of fullbacks in football these days. So I think that's the opposite of what we're getting with Mazza. He can, as I saw him in the Champions League, they got to the semi-final. He's played left back in the semi-final as well. He gets up and down. He's good in the final third, good technical player. A lot of Moroccans are, he's a guy from PSG. Who's the Hakam? Who's the right back from PSG, Moroccan guy?
Oh, Hakim. What's his name? I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So he's up against him in Rocky squad, but he's known to Ten Hag. Obviously, he played at Ajax for a number of years, and I think he's a talent. He's going to be like day and night what we see between him and Wan-Bissaka, especially in the final third. So it will hopefully give us some progress with our football, because everyone was disappointed with our game last season. Having a player like that come in, it's going to be him and Dello battling it out, and it's good for competition. So I think they're quite similar players. And I think he'll soon be a fan's favourite if he starts to produce, for us at right back for sure.
And he can play left back. Can he play left back, or is it not really his?
I don't really want to be doing that. I mean, we all agree. I mean, left foot is left back, right foot is right back. All this inverted stuff, I don't really rate. I don't think it's important. It's good. Maybe when you're playing inverted wingers or wide men like that with opposite feet on different wings, that can be effective, but not a fullback for me, because it's not just that. Because when you're turning, defending, you say I'm a right back and I'm having to sprint back into the corners, I'm going to tackle with my right foot unless I'm Wan-Bissaka who tackles with his left. But it's natural. You understand what I'm saying? When you do, we've seen a few instances last season when a right footer was playing a left back and he lost a yard or something because he's trying to tackle with his wrong foot in a way. So I think there's also that factor to consider.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go. Matty Bassett was asking, is it one out? Yeah. Matty, I think if we can get rid of Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, then we'll get De Ligt and Mazraoui over the line. If we get rid of a midfielder, I think Ugarte will come in. I'm just not sure that midfielder is going to be it's going to be Casemiro.
You think he's staying?
I mean, he's giving him the captain's armband for. I mean, I'm not sure. To be fair, I'm not sure who else he could have given it to. I haven't really looked into it to see who was playing. But the fact that he's been made captain for the 2 pre-season games, the whole situation with Saudi, we pinned our hopes on Saudi coming in with a £30 million bid and paying his 350 grand a week. Well, let's be honest, he's still the same Casemiro. He's just slimmer.
A slimline Casemiro is better than a chubby one.
But he's still slow. He's still making slide tackles at
but up here, remember the quote he made about comparing the Premiership and La Liga? He's obviously got to him. He's obviously done some work during the pre-season. That's good. It's a positive thing. See him lose some weight. So I'm thinking to myself, it's no big deal him being captain. Bruno's not around. He's club captain. He's taking a rest. Casemiro's there. You've got to give him an armband, or maybe Harry Maguire or one of the senior players. I don't think it's that much of a big deal or any indication that he's staying at the club. Who knows what's going on? They've kept things wrapped. It's not like the old management where everything was getting leaked and we knew beforehand what was going on. I think they keep things really wrapped behind closed doors at the moment. So with the Casemiro thing, I know we're disappointed with him, but it's retribution time. He needs to step up. He's been kicked out of the Brazil national side. He's had a bad season last season where he's a bit of an embarrassment. It's time. If you've got something about you, it's time to turn it around. And I'm disappointed. I want to see him leave, to be honest. But if any player that stays at our club, they've still got an opportunity to turn it around. And I think he can do it if he puts his mind to it and starts to adapt to the Premiership, the levels of the Premiership, which is really tough. Can't hear you, but Richard's saying here, the number of games we have to play this season, everyone will get game time. Yeah, over the course of the season, it's true. Even though we were talking about Mazzy wanting to play, have game time, it's going to be him and Dello, say, fighting out right back. But he should know there's going to be, he's likely to get 20, 30 games, you know? And
yeah, I think you're right there.
I
think you're right there. He's definitely going to get more than the 20. Because we're going to be on, what are we going to be on? 38 plus all of the European games are guaranteed, whatever they are, with the new format. Yeah, he's guaranteed to get game time, and it's survival of the fittest, as he says, as Ten Hag has been saying. You know, I mean, prove that you want that shirt. You know, if Casemiro's not going, who else have we got to make money from? I mean, Eriksen's talking like he's going to be staying for another season.
Look, Eriksen, let's be clear, he's a very talented player. And no one's really he hasn't captured us since he's been at the club. Obviously, he's come back from a serious heart issue where he almost passed away, you know. But he's come back from that. He's playing football. Has he lost something? Yeah, I imagine he has. But his delivery, his tempo, his class, his technique are all good factors. But the physicality side of things, I think he hasn't got that, you know, explosiveness that he needs in the Premiership, but he can still offer something. So if you're talking about Casemiro and Eriksen, who would you rather see leave? That's a good question, Mr. B. Big up Waffle TV as well, and big up to Johnny Hill in the chat as well. But if you're talking about Casemiro and Eriksen, they're both over 30. They're both slowing down in terms of being a midfielder, dynamic midfielder in the Premiership. But they both got quality and experience. So who would you rather leave? If you had it in order, who would you like to see leave first out of Casemiro and Eriksen? Who's more important? I think Casemiro is more important at the moment because he's a lot deeper and he gives a bit more defensive duties. I know it's obviously like having a laugh, but comparing it to Eriksen. What about you, Mr. B? What do you think about that comparison? Who would you rather see leave first?
I think it would be Eriksen. I think the club would rather it was Casemiro, but I think if it was them two that was going to be gone, then it would be Eriksen. But while we talk about obviously the midfielders going, it seems like Scott McTominay might be the one who generates us that money to get our club moving. Obviously, Fulham have just bought Smith Rowe for 35 mil.
Wow.
I'm not sure how they've done that deal.
Is that English price, English tax?
That's English money, English tax, English money. You know, I don't know how they've managed to do that deal and get that kind of money for him. So if Smith Rowe's gone for 35 and he did nothing last season, then you've got to be looking at 35 for Scott. You know, different types of player, but Smith Rowe didn't play last season and he still got 35 mil for him. So I'm hoping that they come in for Scott McTominay. That would really make my transfer window, as you would know already. But
so just to make this clear, you on the channel, you don't like Scott McTominay. You think he's moved on. Thanks for the service, but it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah. And somebody, I don't know which, I can't remember who it was, put in the chat. I saw one of the things about him only being on 60 grand a week, which means that he's a sellable asset. If he wasn't 100 grand, nobody would be looking at him. So the fact that he's on 60 grand means that he can take an increase in wages. You know, they could probably afford to increase his wages too, you know, a little bit, maybe, you know, an extra 20, 30 grand, maybe. I don't know if they can afford to pay him 90 grand a week, but I think that's a deal that we should be doing.
Okay. I disagree. I like Scott McTominay. I think he's a player we should have in the squad for all the positive attributes he's got, like the physicality, the running power. Don't think anyone else can replicate that in the squad at the moment. I would rather keep him, and I think that should be further down the line. But you talking here about the money, there's a good comment here from Richard. How you doing, Richard? He said Scott is full of profit. That helps us with FFP. Obviously, we never signed him. He's come through the academy, so that would be a profit signing. Depends on the money, man. Like you said, 35 for a British player in Smith Rowe, I think that's a lot of money for someone who hasn't really had that game time. definitely a talent. But you talk about when you compare him to Scott, you can't. Smith Rowe's not an international in the same level as Scott. Scott scores goals at international level. He scored 10 goals for me last season. He's been a mainstay in around the first team over the last 3 or 4 managers that we've had. And he is appreciated by a lot of teams in the Premiership. So I don't see his running power, says Andrew Williams. He hasn't tracked players since 2014. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. We've got Matthew Bassett saying here, Amondi Scott's weaknesses as a player outweigh his positives as a player. So this is a lot of fan base are feeling about him. We've got Andrew Williams saying, I'd keep Scott, but I don't see all this action dynamo that we're saying there. Pranay, how you doing? He said, if we get rid of Casemiro, we got Collier, but I don't think he should be rushed into the role so quick. Kazem might not have the legs for Prem, but his experience can help Collier learn a lot. So he's saying, even though he's on a big wage, maybe we should keep him. Scott,
so we're paying 350 grand a week for a coach.
Maybe, maybe that's it. Richard's saying here, I think Scott is a great utility player, but if he wants to play, he has to go. And Lucky Singh, how you doing? Says he needs a ball carrier. And Hydro saying here, we need for squad depth. Selling everyone is not going to help. If we're losing 2 players per game, especially with injury as well. Johnny saying here, the only reason I want McTominay gone is because he takes the decision out of Ten Hag's hands to mess up the midfield by if McTominay was a striker with better link up, then I'd keep him. So there you go. Yeah, then I'd keep him. So it seems like the majority of fans want Scott gone. I'm not. I don't really want to see him leave just yet. I want to see others leave before him, mainly Casemiro, Ericsson, if we have to, because of the wages. But yeah, there's pros and cons as we just got over. But Scott McTominay's given us a good service, and I like him. And I think you need proper model pros around the club who love Man United, even more so than someone like Casemiro, who's going to groom up Collier, as they're saying here. By the way, Collier and the guy with dreads in midfield are tremendous little players.
Do you think, guys in the chat as well, do you think Collier and Olidei have a chance of staying at the club this season? Forget about next season, they might go out on loan or whatever, but for this season, do you think they're going to stay? I would like both of them to stay on Monday. I think I've seen enough of both of them in the games to maybe not together, not playing in the same team, but you know, the Coca-Cola Cup game and the FA Cup, if it's a lower level, you know, if they put them in with a Casemiro, they put them in with a mainly with somebody else, you know, mix the team up so it's not all kids, you know, or all inexperienced. And yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see them stay.
Well, in and around the first team. The problem with that, Mr. B, is that it's about development, I think. So they've obviously got something about them, these two. If you want to develop them, you've got to keep pushing them on. Are they going to get into the first team? Are they going to play an amount of games that they need at this young age? This is why people go out on loans, because they get regular first team football. You don't send someone out on loan if there's no agreement that they're not going to play regular. That's why they get sent back by January if they're not having enough games. Clubs get disappointed. So I think at this stage, they need regular football. And we've seen it with Ahmad. We signed him for big money, but he was sent on loan. So I've got a feeling, depending on what our midfield situation is looking like by the start of the season, those two are going to get game time for, most importantly, their development on loan, rather than staying in the under 23s and all that, where I just think it's trash at the moment with the structure they have for the under 23s and reserves or whatever they're doing now. It's not good enough standard. It's not preparing. You're not developing as a player. You're bossing it at that level. You want to go somewhere where you're really tested, like Beckham did at Preston, or like Ahmad went to go to Rangers. And if he had to learn about the British game, he's coming back now. And he looks like he's going to be in and around the first team. So that's development for me. What we've seen with Ahmad, I thought he was ready when he first arrived, scoring that goal against AC Milan. But clearly, they wanted to develop him, put him out there. You know, it might be frustrating for some fans thinking, "Oh, what's wrong?" But they know better than us. So I'm sure these two young guys, I think they're ready, but I just think they're more likely to go on loan to get regular football to improve them day in, day out.
All right. Well, Richard Hawkins is saying he thinks 100% he'll do a job. Toby will do a job. Pranay is saying Collier and Harry Amas could play in the Prem. Johnny is saying he will stay for sure. So look, everybody looks like they're quite positive about Collier. Here we go, Andrew. I'm hopeful of Ahmad this year, but he's still not a creative wide player. I think the fact that he keeps possession, I think is a big benefit, and the fact that he's not selfish like Anthony, who just I don't know what Anthony sees, because you know, Ahmad was in that position and stroked it in the bottom corner. Anthony had 7 shots and kicked him over the bar and kicked him wide. So I'm I think Ahmad, especially the fact that he likes to keep possession. We need possession based players in our team. I think Ahmad should. I think if Ahmad gets the game time, he's going to have a really good season.
When you say someone's not creative, are you saying what about intelligent creativity here? You want to see them having assists or setting things up and having more team play? I think he's a creative player. I would describe him as a creative player, Andrew. I think he's got good technique, holds at the ball well. He's a link-up guy. He's an unselfish player, which means he's creative, as in he gives and goes, looks for options, rather than you're thinking creative can be taking on players or providing crosses, that kind of thing. I think he's got a lot about his game. I just think he needs the game time to prove people like you wrong about what he is. I think he's young, wiry, strong, little talent, who scores goals, can get in there, score goals, and he links up well with players. So I think he's a creative wide man, more on the sort of level of Sancho. Sancho gives, goes, uses his teammates a lot to play his football, and I like that style of play rather than getting someone who's just going to get the ball and just be direct. We had Dan James, didn't we? I think Dan James is not creative because he just uses his attributes with a pace. With Ahmad being a bit smaller, he has to adapt and use his better attributes to be effective in a Premier League, which is full of big physical guys and guys that probably fullbacks that probably run with him, no problem, you know. So you need to find other ways to be creative, and I think we see that with him coming up. So obviously, I'm only speculating because we haven't seen him do it consistently in the Premiership, but I think he's got the game to do it. So let's just see. I hope he does well.
Andrew, you wanted an assist merchant. Is Bruno not an assist merchant? I'm on the wind up. Before he starts cussing in the chat. He's on the wind up. Anthony, the player who we feel we're not going to get rid of. It's only been 1 or 2 little reports, to be fair. Nothing major at the moment. He's been linked with Besiktas, which is obviously one of the lower level. I mean, still a big team, but definitely not one of the big 2 in Turkey. They've been linked to the move for Anthony. I'm not really sure about this one on Monday. I don't think they can pay anything of his wages, which is not going to be too much, and there's definitely not going to be a fee involved. Do you think anything can materialize from this one?
Well, Anthony's one of these players where he's been really disappointing, and I am prepared to give him another season to prove himself because we can't spend a lot of money on this guy, and I'm thinking he must have something. He can't be this bad, you know, where he's getting pelters from rival fans and our own fans as well, because he just hasn't delivered the goods. And Andrew's going in the comments talking about assists from wide men. You're right, we need to have more assists from wide men, but I think Anthony's going down a pecking order. He's got Ahmad coming in now, who's got to overtake him in that position as a left-footed wide man. You know, just through hard work and, you know, getting his head down, and he's ready to take him on. So Anthony has gone down a pecking order from a star guy. He got a lot of love from his manager and playing time, and he didn't do the good. So now maybe when his back's against the wall, maybe he might adapt and be a bit more intelligent with his style of play, because he's got talent. Clearly he's got some talent about him. He's pretty quick. He's not rapid. He's got good technique in a way. I think he's got a good shot when it comes off, but he just needs to his decision making, whether he's going to always cut inside, which people are reading like a big pop-up picture book for the last couple of seasons, or is he going to mix up? One time go down the right, sometimes cut inside. He needs to adapt and use this is where intelligence comes in. And you know, because all this stuff doesn't work. It might work in the Dutch league, but it's not working in the Premiership. It hasn't. So he needs to adapt his game, and maybe by sitting on the bench or maybe by being under pressure, he might decide, right, to be effective now, this is my second season in the Prem, I need to sort of change my game up. And he's probably got better coaches now, better advice, and hopefully he can deliver. But if he's going to Turkey, I think it'd be a good move for him. But yeah, like you said, how can they afford to take a player who's on big money and maybe wants to dig his heels in and probably doesn't want to leave, because that would just be like going downhill. I remember he was like him and Rafinha were the guys fighting out for a position in the Brazilian squad. like Casemiro, they both now been booted out. They're not really part of that. So if you want to be a Brazilian, the most important thing for Brazilian players is to be in the national side as well. So when you're coming from being in the national side, playing for big clubs, suddenly your form is so poor that you can't get game for your club, and you've been kicked out the recognition from being recognised as a main squad player for your country. He needs to step it up.
I don't think he can on Monday. I'm not sure he has it. I'm not sure he has it in him. To be fair, it may be a bit harsh, but I mean I've seen videos of him when he was at um, Ajax, and he just seems to have more control over the football in when he was in Holland. So he still says the same way. You know, I don't think he's changed anything he did. He just seemed to have more control. But I don't know if that. I don't think that's ever going to be. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy. I think his boat has sailed now. It's just wherever he goes or what the club can get for him. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, Andrew, these are the levels we're talking about. Saka, 10 assists a season averaging, and he's scoring 15 goals a season from that position in a good side with good players around him. Him and Odegaard work real well together. They're on the same page. They know what they're doing. If we can get better players like we have, Xerxes coming in, Bruno in and around them, maybe we can't see something better. Ahmad's not going to get 10 assists or 10 goals, let's be honest about it. He knows, this is Lucky Singh saying, he knows game not coming through clause, opposition panic, right side one. Riddles, Lucky Singh. I cannot read that, unfortunately. And Tyron saying here, the sun had me falling asleep, waking me up again just now. Lord, it's hot. It sure is. It sure is.
Let's not complain about the heat. Guys. We're only going to get 2 more days worth, and then everybody will be happy again because it'll be overcast and grey, and everybody's going to be depressed. Let the sun come out and shine, man. Finally, on Monday, to wrap up the night, United are obviously you saw the game on Saturday. That stadium, that stadium is a work of art. I think they really went down. So yeah, it's broken now that United are really contemplating getting a new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium that could hold 100,000. What you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this has been on the cards, isn't it? When we were talking about the battle of the ownership, with the Sheikh Jazim and Ratcliffe, and people are like putting forward their manifesto, what we're going to offer, what we're going to do. I think Jazim was saying new stadium and training facilities and doing up the area and things like that. And definitely the stadium's old. Definitely there's leaks, there's rats, there's all kinds of terrible things happen in the stadium. It needs a refurb fast. It's well overdue. It's just how you go about it. We've covered this on the show many times, haven't we? About the implications of how to do that. Do we sort of break? I remember early years of the Premier League, they did one stand, didn't they? While they were still playing football there. So it's just a case of what you do. Do you either just go scrap Old Trafford, find a new site and build a new stadium? In the meantime, I need to find someone to play, or do you refurbish at some point and do a big project like that while we're still playing there? They're talking about 100-seat stadium. Would that be filled every week? I mean, we've got a 70.
What are you talking? Jesus.
No. Here's the question. Here's the question, Mr. B. So we're going to invest in a new stadium, and we're going to increase it by 25,000. I'm saying roughly because it's about 75 average at the moment. So we're going to increase it by 25,000. Where are these 25,000 people coming from? How much are they going to be charged tickets? Are we getting authentic local fans access to the football club? Because that's important. As Royce Keane said many years ago about the prawn sandwich brigade, it's not just that. You get people flying into Manchester every weekend from all over the world, So I want to see authentic fans supporting the club. Fans that know all the songs like Vincent does. Fans that know, like Stuart Marshall, know the routine, know how it's done, and how to support your club properly. If you're getting, I don't want to see us be this sort of artificial club where you're getting, we've got 100,000 in, but are they true fans? Are they just coming in on a holiday package just to see the Manchester Man United play football, and then see a few sites as well? That's the thing for me. So that's a lot of 25,000 people. It's a lot of people, bruv. If you want to add that to the stadium, I want to see how it's going to get filled. Because what I don't want to see is to have a 100-seat stadium, and every game we're getting games where people can't afford tickets and are not turning up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the affordability is obviously going to be a big issue. I mean, Vincent here saying, did you know that there's 100,000 people on the waiting list? So getting the extra 25,000 on one day, I really don't think is going to be an issue.
Good point.
It's just the funding. How is this stadium going to be funded? Will it be called whatever it is because of the naming rights? I mean, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago about the naming rights. That might be what they need to do now. Is that going to be pissing people off? It may well do, because it's not the same. But you have to understand that things need to be done to get the finances to get these things off. I mean, would they be building it at a separate part? Because they've got the whole mass of it. I said we did a show, and so they own quite a bit. Are they going to build it in one corner, leave Old Trafford? Because I mean, a £2 billion stadium, how long is that going to take to build?
Well, what happened with the most recent stadium I've seen, which has been the best stadium in the country, is Spurs White Hart Lane, and they built that on the same site as the old White Hart Lane, on a high street. You've been there, isn't it, Mr. B? On a high street, a busy high street, and I think, wow, how you wouldn't even know once you're in that stadium, you think, wow, this is amazing. You come out and you got crackheads and alcoholics. That's honestly legit like that, right next to states and all this kind of thing on a busy high street. So I think Tottenham have done really well. So you have to look at their model to see how they've been able to do a stadium. I think it did take them 2 years or something like that. It has to be the best. If we do it, it has to be the best stadium in Britain, because we're renowned for that. I just want to big up Richard here. Now, Richard, as you know, Richard's an old boy. He's been going for a long time, but he would be glad to see a new stadium. Even though I have 60 years of memories at Old Trafford, we could fill it 10 times over, but I think the tickets would go up. And that's what Tyron's saying as well about the ticket prices. Obviously, Vincent goes as well. So there's a name for those people. They're called day trippers, unfortunately. We will always get that. But if you can help cut down the numbers by selling season tickets, it will be a lot better as well.
You see, we've got to move with the times. As I said, I've been to Old Trafford maybe 10 times in my whole life. So I'm not going to be a regular like the Stewarts, like the Vincents, like other people in the chat. So I don't have, my memories are probably different than the memories that they have. You've got people who go there with their dads, who went there with their dads, they've got their space. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tradition that goes on with it as well. So I understand people not wanting it to change, but for me, I would love a new stadium. I would love a new stadium.
I'm sorry, I have to read this. Big up Emma. She's saying here, we're literally this big because we've got a lot of true fans, but we've also got tourist attraction. We've become a tourist attraction. That's how you stay big. And rebuttal from Andrew saying, no, Emma, Viagra is how you stay big. Oh God. Anyway, Johnny Hill said, I imagine they would turn Old Trafford into flats in the area to raise funds as well. That's true. Vince saying here, we put a new stadium being built. We can stay at Old Trafford and be easily done. That means no paying rent to another stadium. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so so they would probably build it, and then when they move in, maybe knock that down and do what they did with Highbury, where they've got the flats on the Highbury.
That's right. Yeah,
they've got the flats on Highbury.
It's a lucrative area in London. I think different in Manchester. Andrew Williams saying Spurs best stadium I've been to, and he's been to the ATT in Dallas, Wembley, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa as well. So he's been to a few, and it just shows you. And the most recent one with Spurs is amazing. No, I don't want a new stadium. I still want to feel that old, bit of feeling run down stadium. You sit a little too close, and there's a long way to the toilets as well. Okay, Lucky Sings just saying here, my family turn money away till new stadium comes. Okay, there you go.
Well, look, Lucky Sing, hopefully it won't be too long before you decide what you're doing. And one day, is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything else?
I did. I mean, you dismissed it, but the news that captured me was about Sancho going to PSG. Obviously, we've accepted him back with hugs and kisses, and he's even played a couple of games.
Do you think we have? Huh? Do you think we have, or do you think that was just part of the
it's a publicity stunt, isn't it, to say everything's okay, because he's going to be playing. He needs to be ticking over. So I think they're doing the right thing with buy him and buy for the club. We don't want to create any more scandals, but it seems like there was rumours. I know you squashed it, but he could be going to PSG. Apparently, terms were agreed. Personal terms have been agreed, and he could be going to France to play his football, because obviously they've lost Mbappe. They need someone to fill kind of the boots there, and Sancho could do well out there, and he could give us a bit of money as well. So I don't know how you feel about that, Mr. B. I don't know how true this is, but that's what I've heard earlier. But you said it's gone a bit quiet today.
No, yeah, it did go a bit quiet. I mean, if that's the deal that they can then get done, because they want to cut their losses, I don't believe they want Sancho. I don't believe that they want Sancho at the club. I think for him to have gone off, obviously they've done what they have to do. Sancho is an asset. If he's not training nobody knows he's playing. So yeah, you'll play the second half of the game, and he wasn't that good, but at least they know he's fit and he's available and he's ready to play. So, and he would have done the pre-season, So
okay,
yeah,
Mr. B, they did suggest. What I read, I mean, it was sort of, to be honest, it was early this morning. I read that because we're doing a deal with PSG about Sancho, we got a choice of Ugarte, one of their right backs, a French guy, I can't remember his name, and the former Inter Milan, the centre back, who plays for Slovenia or Slovakia. I forget his name now. Shirky. Who's the guy? Guys in the comments. Who's the guy? The former Inter Milan centre back who played
PSG centre back.
Yeah, he was Mark Kane out of the game in the Euros. Scourge, I can't remember his name. So they were talking about those three players. There we go, Skriniar. Thanks, Matty Baez. Matthew Batter.
Oh, Skriniar.
Skriniar, yeah.
Okay.
They were discussing that, maybe doing a sort of a deal involving one of those three. There's another right back who plays for PSG, who's also thrown into the mix as well. So I don't know if we need Skriniar. He's a bit older than what we really require. Ugarte is 23. Skriniar's like 28, 29. And the other guy's 25, I think, the other guy. So I'm not sure. But if we are negotiating with a club like PSG, then naturally, we could be saying, all right, I fancy this guy. Can you throw him in the mix?
I mean, I would like to think it was Ugarte. The fact that they've gone so far down the line now, our targets haven't changed. Yeah. If you see what I mean, in the press, it was this player, this player, this player, this. Right, we might have gone around the circle with the centre backs, but they haven't really changed. The list hasn't changed.
Right.
So I don't see us going in for Skriniar. Obviously, Ugarte is the one that I feel is the one that should be easiest to be done. They've been running him down for how long? And obviously, he said he wants to come. Deals have been done, so it's just a payment thing. So I think the Ugarte one is more likely to happen than the Sancho one. I don't know what price they would have priced Sancho at. But I mean, that could be another sticking block. But I know they're not going to do a swap deal, so they'll make it two separate. But as long as the figures aren't too far apart from what they're spending and what they getting 50 grand off the wage. So
Sancho's maybe cursed at our club for what has happened. So maybe it's time for him to move on. Lucky Singh saying he wants Ugarte. Richard Hawkins saying, and seemingly if we get PSG centre back, we will leave the Lit deal alone as well. So Johnny Hill saying, I don't know how he went to Bayern and didn't inquire about Fonzie. Am I saying that? Fonzie?
No chance. He's go. Yeah. You're right. He's going Real Madrid. That's not even. That's done. He's not going to sign a contract. He's just going. They've just done an Mbappe on with him again.
Who's Fonzie?
Alphonso Davies.
Oh, of course. My God. Okay. I thought you said, hey, Fonzie. That's all right. And Nuno Mendes is an ideal left back, says Andrew. He plays for PSG as well, young Portuguese left back. Just going through here. Yeah. Look, Fonzie's going to Real Madrid, says Richard Hawkins as well. Yeah, interested in that. So I think we will get deals over the line. I'm really confident in what we've done so far. Let's see what happens over the next few weeks while the window's still open. I would like to see the ones that look promising or look like they're on the cards are Ugarte and De Ligt. Those are the ones that I think are next in line from all accounts. So hopefully here we go.
I think Mazraoui is the closest one. I think Mazraoui gets done next.
Who?
Mazraoui. I think Mazraoui
Oh,
gets
right.
done.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Want to say hi to Medi Hell? Medi Hell? Okay. He says FA Cup is decent. Talk about the trophies we've won recently. He's having a back and forth with Andrew Williams. Big G's in the house as well. He said, have we sold Bruno yet for F's sake? No, we haven't. Johnny Hill saying, you're probably right. Just baffles me how we end up with Mazraoui when he's injury prone, considering Ten Hag likes to complain about injuries as well. Guys, we need a healer. Why don't we get that Eileen Jury, that Glenn Hoddle's girl?
Put the arm on the shoulder,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah. That maybe she would solve things, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's that. What you're doing? Side TV tomorrow?
Yeah, I should be on site tomorrow. You'll be on here with Dora. Stefan's just messaged me. I think Stefan will be with us on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that'll fill up those next couple of days. But look, we'll be here as usual, 9 o'clock. Regardless of what the news is or whatever time it breaks, we will be here at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So
guys,
yeah,
yeah. Just say, guys, in the comments. Thanks again, Richard, Andrew, Lucky Singh, Matthew Bassett, Mehdi. Big up to you as well, Johnny Hill. We've got Richard Hawkins, Vincent Bullock as well. Vincent, you started following me today on Facebook. Behave yourself. Don't talk about football on certain on my page, please, because I have to keep things separate, you know. We've got who else is in the house? Loads of people will be tuning in today. Make sure you press the like button, guys, and make sure you tune in tomorrow as well. We'll be back at 9 o'clock. Ain't that right, Mr. B?
Yes, be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, Andrew, it's promotion, my friend. I'm networking. I'm networking. But guys, look, we will be back tomorrow. As Monday said, oh sherbet, it's gone wrong. Yeah, as Monday said, we will be back tomorrow. So from me, it's goodbye.
Have a good day, good night, guys. Stay cool.
Yeah, keep the fan running in it, burning the electricity.
Big up, Matty. Nice one.
We're out.